Let's now get the thoughts of Benjamin Anthony of the Miryam Institute, joining us now from Tel Aviv, Israel. Benjamin, thank you so much for joining us. So many innocent lives have been lost. Israelis, Palestinians, and other nationalities, including Filipinos. Your thoughts on this ongoing conflict?
Well, thank you very much for having me. First of all, I'm very pleased that those from the Philippines who sought to return home and be repatriated have done so safely. That's wonderful news, a little bit of a silver lining around this ominous cloud. In terms of innocent lives lost, let's reset, please, in everybody's mindset and understanding the context out of which this war is being waged. On Saturday morning, October the 7th, the most bloody, depraved, murderous massacre of Jewish people since the horrors of the Holocaust was wrought against Israel's civilians at the hands of Hamas. They crossed the border armed with machine guns, with murderous intentions that came to light. They murdered and massacred 1,300 innocent civilians who were going about their daily lives, including 250 civilians who were at a festival celebrating peace in southern Israel. Our people have been raped, they have been murdered, some of them have been decapitated, and in addition to the 1,300 who have been murdered by Hamas, some 200 have been taken hostage into the Gaza Strip to be cynically held for ransom by Hamas. Those individuals include our elderly, our infirm, our women, our children, our unborn children, and our soldiers. And it's out of that context that the Israel Defense Forces is rightly pursuing the complete toppling and destruction of Hamas inside the Gaza Strip. The Israel Defense Forces is absolutely not pursuing the targeting of any innocent civilians.
Benjamin, it is indeed very sad that the situation is happening to both the Palestinians and to the Israelis, and thousands of Palestinians have also been killed in this ongoing conflict. What can President Biden's visit to Israel help in this ongoing conflict?
Well, first of all, I don't want people to continue to deal in the soft bigotry of low expectations when it comes to the Palestinian Arabs inside the Gaza Strip. Not all by any means, but many of them voted for Hamas to come to power, knowing that Hamas's constitution calls for the murder and genocide of the Jewish people wherever they may be. They elected Hamas by way of a democratic election, and the popularity of Hamas is growing over in the West Bank among the Palestinian Arabs. So everybody should understand that there is some agency among the Palestinian Arabs when it comes to the actions of Hamas. They are not free of that agency, nor should they be described as being so. In terms of President Biden's visit here to the State of Israel, I think it was very important that he said what you just played him saying, which is that this false allegation that the Israel Defense Forces struck a hospital inside Gaza is precisely that. It's false. It's not true. It's being debunked. And it's not a matter of the Israelis say one thing and the Palestinian Arabs say another thing. There's actually unanimity behind the reality here. President Biden said it seems that that strike came about at the hands of what he termed the other team, meaning the Palestinian Arabs inside the Gaza Strip, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad. But he's not the only one. Let's just review the facts. At 6:59 p.m., the parking lot, not the hospital, but the parking lot adjacent to the Al-Ahli Baptist Hospital inside the Gaza Strip fell under rocket fire.
Correct.
That rocket fire came from a launch made by Palestinian Islamic Jihad. It misfired, it landed where it landed, and there is a recording of two Hamas operatives expressing the following: that shrapnel found in the area of this detonation is local shrapnel, it is not Israeli shrapnel. And furthermore, there is no crater in the ground that would be indicative of an Israeli strike having caused this, and there is no structural damage to the surroundings. All of that evidence is what's coalesced to bring President Biden to say here in Israel, this was the dastardly deed of the other team, Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
Benjamin, when are we likely to see a ceasefire? When will this conflict end? Briefly.
I don't think anybody knows when there will be a ceasefire. We're all awaiting to see whether or not the expected ground incursion will take place. But I will tell you this, if the ground incursion does indeed begin, as there is a real expectation for among the Israeli citizens at the home front and the Israeli soldiers, if that happens, it will be likely long-standing, far-reaching, extensive, and decisive.
Benjamin Anthony of the Miryam Institute joining us from Tel Aviv. Thank you so much for your insights.